Welcome, welcome. DJ Bobby here. I know what you're thinking. You have your first D&D game coming up, and you want a really cool custom minifig. And you start looking, and you start looking, and then you start realizing that, I don't know, maybe it might be too complicated because some minis you have to build yourself. Some minis you have to put on stands. Some minis you have to paint yourself. And it might be really intimidating. Well, I'm going to stop you right there. No, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. All right, this is a $35 uh, custom painted mini that was supposed to represent my character whenever he started the game. Now, this is my character that I painted at the end of the game because we stopped playing. And honestly, I think I achieved similar results, if not better. I mean, I didn't flack the bottom or flock, whatever. I don't have a base, but in terms of the paint job, I think I knocked it out of the park. And like I said, if I can do it, this guy right here, you can do it. So I'm going to tell you what you need to do it. And it's not very much. You don't need all this super fancy dancy paint. You don't need it. You can get it. You don't need it. Alright. You don't need a... I'm not going to talk about all the super crazy amounts of accessories. I'm not going to talk about airbrushing. I'm not going to talk about none of that. I'm going to talk about the essentials. And essentially what you need to paint a minifig is obviously acrylic paint. Uh, we're not getting into primer. You don't need primer. Alright? You don't need it. It's not a necessity. But if you want it, you can. That's another layer that you can. It's a layer of complexity, like in terms of steps. It can be as complicated as you want to make it, or as simple as you want to make it. Just like D&D games. What you need is paint, acrylic, always acrylic. You don't want glossy paint. You need a minifig. You need water. You need paintbrushes. Lots, and lots, and lots, and lots of paintbrushes. You need paper towels. Yep, cleaner than this one. You need time is probably the most important thing that you'll need. It is like a coloring book. It's akin to a coloring book. You can color a picture on a page and you can make it take 5 minutes and look super crappy, or you can make it take, I don't know, 3 hours or 4 hours or more and make it look super nice. It's up to you. Right? That's what many paintings kind of like. It's like coloring books, sort of. And I don't mean to demean it in any way, but it is that easy. I believe anyone can color a book. I believe anyone can paint a mini well. And let me get into the 4-step process. I'm not going to show you the step process because other people do that, and I have a live stream on Twitch where I do it in real time. I'm just going to explain a simple 4-step process for you. And it is a 4-step process. Most people have 3-step, but they forget to include 1 step, which is the build step. It's the very first step. You have to build your figure sometimes, and sometimes you can skip that step because sometimes you don't have to build it. All Right? So if you don't have to build it, you have to then paint. Right? Paint becomes a 3 kind of step process in itself. Right? You have to paint your original coat. If you don't have your primer, you'll have to build up more paint on the mini so the metal don't show through. And if you don't have a primer, then you'll obviously have to use less paint. After you do your initial paint, though, then you do a wash process, which is essentially black ink that that you can buy from the game workshops, or just watered down acrylic paint. That's why I use watered down acrylic paint. I'm cheapo, as you can see. I'm trying to give you the bare necessities here and let you achieve the same results as those people with the super high-tech stuff. Alright, so the wash. Alright, it is just acrylic black paint, but you can do it in any color with acrylic paint as well. However, if you buy washes from those workshop places, they are ink. They are not the same. So if you want all the same thing, all acrylic paint, then you might want to think about that. I just did all mine acrylic because it's cheaper and I already had the paint. Why not? After that, you go with your dry brush process. So after you wash, you do your dry brush process, which basically is like, let me this is a big paintbrush, bristles. So if you have like this one, you'd get the tip, right? You dab it in the paint that you want. And when you're dry brushing, this is the last step. It's kind of like a highlight step. You wipe off most of the paint. Where'd my paper towel go? Wherever it went. You wipe most off on the paper towel. And then you kind of just brush over it in the spots that you kind of want to brighten up. And it will kind of get the brim spots or the high areas of your figure without touching any of the lower crooks and crevices. Okay, but you may be thinking now, what if I make a mistake? What happens then? You just fix it, paint over it. It's just more paint, or paint off the paint. The paint rubs off super easily. So you can rub off all your paint if you want to, and start from the beginning, or you can do it in layers and whatnot. But yeah, just fix it. Just paint over it. It's easy. Last thing that I want to mention is object light sourcing. Now, I don't want to get into whether or not I like that term, because I don't. But it is a really technical term for light effects for your character. How do you do them? Is it super complicated? No. Light effects are a final 5th step optional process, in my opinion. And that happens after you get done with everything. Get done washing, get done dry brushing, get done everything. You go back and then you want to do another wash with the color that you want to be the super bright color. And you paint over it lightly, kind of like a dry brush, sort of. And you don't want to get it too colory, because then it'll just look like that color. So it's literally just another wash. It's easy. I did it myself, and I think I did it very well. You can check out my results on my Twitter page at DJBowie89, just like my Twitch page, just like my YouTube, just like my everything. So come find me if you're interested in more, I guess, basic level knowledge of painting minis, because I believe anyone can do it, including you.